What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Errol the Truth Spence. Errol Spence has just had cataract surgery, as you guys heard or seen, and there is a picture of him with his recently had surgery on his eye, okay? And the strange thing was his next caption. He said, which he had just recently removed, people. He said, had to get cataract surgery. It's been past due. Shit was covering my eye. So, this is what I asked Google. I said, what causes your cataracts to be damaged? It says the cataracts are congenital in nature. People on chronic doses of steroids, such as asthma, and smokers are at high risk. A cataract may be caused by conditions such as injury, inflammation inside the eye, certain disorders of blood chemistry, and some drugs. Okay, now, the reason I read you guys that was simply to explain what could have happened to Errol Spence. Sure, he could have had problems before. You can't act like you didn't see Errol Spence's eye kind of leaning over like that. I saw that. I always wondered what that was. And I wondered, like, why the hell does he look tired as shit like that? Why is his eye kind of stretching? You know what I mean? And his eyelid looks a lot bigger. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to say that didn't happen or he didn't need it. I'm not going to say that. But what I can say is if it was overdue before he came in there with Terence Crawford, that meant more than likely 100% chance that Terence Crawford made that shit worse. Okay? Now, if it calls from injury, that means injury could be what? A punch in the eye? Well, if that's the case, Terence Crawford definitely made that well overdue. He made that shit a necessity when he was punching you in your eye. But I know what people are saying, and I know what he was trying to convey when he said, hey, had to get cataract surgery, it's been past due. Okay? Now, he said past due because he wanted people to understand, or he wanted people to see that, hey, I had a problem before I came into the Terence Crawford fight. I say this, wonderful, Errol, wonderful. All you got to do now, recover. All you got to do now is go to 154. Do not have that fight at 147. Forget those belts. Those belts are gone. You guys are no longer 147 pounds. I think it's up to him and his team to inform Terence Crawford that he can no longer make 147 because it wouldn't matter if Terence Crawford fought him at 147 anyway because it wouldn't mean what it meant then. Okay, the IBF belt is gone. Jaron Ennis has that belt now. So it doesn't mean undisputed or anything. It just means another rematch. So you might as well have the rematch for the reckoning of Errol Spence that was supposedly weight drained, that now we have another, hey, he had an eye surgery, he had a cataract, so he couldn't see the punches coming. Okay, so we had that. We have that now. So since we have these two things, the weight drain, he was off a bit, his timing was off, and he couldn't see the punches, okay, well, Terence Crawford, you gotta now fight him to prove that you're a better fighter. However, I'll say this. What needs to be said for Errol Spence people were looking for, and if they're looking for it, here it is. Okay? If they're looking for anything or any reason why Errol Spence could not perform any better than he did that night against Terence Crawford, there you have it. Okay? But I think if it was past due, Terence Crawford made it way a big, huge necessity in order to see that go. To see that and how it is and how it was, but this is how it should be. He now needs to fight Terence Crawford at 147 or 154. Sorry, 154 to really even the score. And if he does better at 154, there may be a smidgen of truth to that. But my counterpunch, really, saying all that to say this, I don't care what was wrong with Errol Spence. I don't. If he was that far gone with a cataract in his eye, he shouldn't have been in the ring. If he was that headstrong or that proud, that means his pride got his ass beat. He just went in the ring and Terence Crawford did the rest. He still has two eyes. He might have had one eye or what, two hands, one eye or whatever. But I still see Terence Crawford beating him. I seen Terence Crawford beating Errol Spence in 2019 before he had the car accident. He wasn't going to beat Terence Crawford anyway. He just wasn't going to beat him. The styles did not work. Terence Crawford was going to do the same shit that he did in that fight. And if it's anywhere similar to a performance that Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence, and even if Errol Spence does a little bit better, but he still does the same thing, we can stop pissing and moaning and looking for excuses for all these aerosexuals. And we can tell them all together, we told you so. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Errol Spence now having surgery, stating that he couldn't see the punches coming from Terence Crawford. That's the reason he took so many of those punches on the night that he lost. His only loss to Terence Bud Crawford. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.